For years, Shia LaBeouf was considered one of the most toxic Hollywood actors. He gained his controversial reputation due to his public outbursts and multiple arrests for misdemeanors.
I have rights. I'm an American. You got me in my hotel.
But those weren't the worst things he did. Recently, one of his ex-girlfriends accused him of physically hurting her. And yet, it seems that these days, Shia is on the road to redemption.
Rock bottom. Bottom isn't when you experience the worst moment of your life. Definitely. Bottom is when you change.
For the most part, this change was possible due to his wife, actress Mia Goth. For the last 10 years, they have been in an on-and-off relationship with constant ups and downs. And their downs seem to be extremely low. They often argued in public. After one particular fight, Shia admitted that his anger could have taken him too far.
If I'd have stayed there, I would.
2 years after saying their vows, Shia filed for divorce from Mia. Back then, he thought that she was cheating on him. However, their divorce was never finalized. They briefly reconciled in 2020, but nothing seemed to work. During this troubled period in his personal life, Shia seemed to be going further and further downhill. The actor was arrested for misdemeanors 11 times. He suffered from addictions, and many people claimed that he was a difficult person to work with. One of the latest films Shia got a role in was Olivia Wilde's Don't Worry Darling. But he was allegedly fired from it because of his inappropriate behavior. And there were also reports that he constantly had clashes with other cast members. But things got even worse for Shia when he was accused of something very serious. While his marriage to Mia was on a pause, he dated singer FKA Twigs for a year. Sometime after they broke up, she alleged that he mistreated her and caused her emotional distress.
Because it was that bad, I couldn't leave. I just couldn't carry it anymore, you know? I felt like I was cracking.
At first, Shia denied the allegations and even resented Twigs for telling the world about his toxic behavior. The actor strove to explain and justify everything he'd done. But when he realized that it wouldn't fix anything, his perspective suddenly switched. He admitted that he had treated his ex-girlfriend badly. It made a lot of people despise him.
Nobody wants to talk to me, including my mother. The manager's not calling, the agent's not calling. I'm not connected to the business anymore.
Suddenly, Shia found himself feeling completely broken. The accusations opened his eyes on how destructive his behavior was. For a while, he even thought of taking his own life.
I had a on the table. I was out of here. I didn't want to be alive anymore when all of this happened, okay? Shame like I had never experienced before. Kind of shame, you forget how to breathe. You don't know where to go.
But then he decided that it was time to finally change. Shia admitted that if Twigs hadn't accused him of hurting her, he'd never have reached this point.
She's a saint for me, because had she not intervened in my life and not created the avenue for me to experience ego death, I'd either have a really mediocre existence or I'd be dead in full.
The actor looked back at his life and saw that he'd been mistreating himself and those around him for years. Shia was unfaithful to every woman he'd ever dated, and he even consciously spread certain diseases to his partners.
I was a pleasure-seeking, selfish, self-centered, dishonest, inconsiderate, fearful human being, and I was operating on a survival instinct.
He finally went to rehab to end his addictions for good, and there Shia managed to reconnect with his wife, Mia. Amid all of the darkness of his life, she became the ray of light he needed so much. The actor admitted in an interview that Mia saved him. The rehab facility had a family day every week where relatives could join them online. For weeks, no one showed up for Shia, until Mia did.
And she was present for me at a time when I didn't deserve to have nobody in my life, especially her. And she saved my fucking life, dog. Like, before the kid, before the job, before God, before any religion.
Until then, Shia had never known what real love was. He thought that Mia loved him only because of what he could offer her, and he didn't realize that she'd still be there for him even when he lost everything.
It's the first time I really understood love, because I didn't have nothing to give. What I know love to be is selfless, loving action. And I've never known anything as loving or as selflessly active as what this woman did for me in my life.
Shia and Mia are now determined to build their new life together based on mutual love, trust and respect. Earlier this year, the couple welcomed their daughter, Isabel. Becoming a father gave the 36-year-old actor a new purpose and inspired him to be a better person. Shia says that in a way, his daughter has turned into his parole officer. She keeps him accountable for his actions and tests his new principles every day. Shia also doesn't want his baby girl to Google his name one day and find out what a deplorable person her father is.
I have from now until she's literate to create a relationship with her where she knows me more than this idea of who I am in the public.
And these days, Shia does his best to leave his toxic habits in the past. He recently shared that he's been sober for over 600 days. But he realizes that people can't just forget about his past mistakes. The actor admits that he will forever be making amends to those he hurt.
And I'm gonna owe for the rest of my life. For the rest of my life.
To try and make amends, Shia wants to help others. He strives to serve as an example for other people who struggle with addictions like he did.
My purpose, and I mean this with every fiber of my being, is to be instructive with my life so that I can be an advertisement, like a billboard for a principled way of living.
And Shia is doing a good job so far. Not only did he start a new life with his true love, but the actor is also returning to our screens. He starred in the biographical drama Padre Pio, which brought him closer to God. What's more, LaBeouf is set to appear in Francis Ford Coppola's upcoming film, Megalopolis. Of course, it will take time for the studios to trust him again and give him more new roles. But the actor will do his best to earn his second chance.
People may not forgive me, but I know that I have been forgiven.
Besides, it turned out that LaBeouf wasn't actually fired from Don't Worry, Darling. The actor himself quit because he thought that the cast weren't given adequate time to rehearse. It's possible that with time, Shia will manage to get back into Hollywood's good graces. After all, anyone can change if they truly want to.
I know that it's all gonna be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, it's not the end.
If it's not okay, it's not the end.